Who's raiding? Tell me there's a raid. Can you hear me? All right. Hit that like, everybody. We're just getting started.
Would you classify that as a launch problem or a design problem?
That was really cool, by the way.
I gotta barbecue your handy molasses!
I feel no shame, only pride, because my syphilis is a badge of honor.
All right. All right, here we go. Ta-da, here we are. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. It's a Thursday, so we start a little later because I have family FaceTime. It was a lovely family FaceTime, by the way. Just all around. It's always good. If you indeed marvel at modern technology the way I do, please text, reach out. You don't have to call if it's too much. But if you're, close to someone or a good FaceTime, a little, hey, text, you got time to FaceTime? I just want to say hi. That kind of thing goes a long way towards your loved ones, your friends, maybe even somebody, I would say, a near acquaintance. These are the people that you think, that person in your life that could be a friend if you just had more time. If you just could get together with them. You really got a good feeling about this person. You hang out with them. When you do see them, you like them. But they're kind of outside the friend bubble. Maybe they're in another city. Maybe they're in another state. Maybe you were just about to kind of, and then they fucked off and you talked to them for a little while, but you haven't seen them in a while. Just all it takes is a little, hey, what's up? I hope you don't even have to ask them anything. Don't even have to bait them into talking to you. Just go, hey, I was thinking about you. I hope you're doing great. That's it. Goes a long way, especially in this day and age. I mean, that's probably the easiest piece of sunshine you can flick somebody's way. It's a little booger of sunshine. You can just flick at them if it doesn't stick to the end of your finger. Always a problem. I understand. Now, there's a lot going on. But first of all, I want to say hi to our chat room. Hello. Where are you? I'm going to drag this little guy over here so it's easier for me to see and work with. And can I stretch it? Does it go all the way? It does. This is really fun. Hi, Pisces. How are you? What's happening? Sin City, Nevada. So true. Well, thank you very much. I try. It's just a little, I'm always kind of on the lookout for easy ways to let people know they're loved and liked and appreciated and all that kind of stuff. That doesn't, it's so quick. You used to have to write a letter and roll it up and put it in a fucking tube and give it to somebody on horseback. And they only had limited ability to carry any of this shit. So you kind of had to be important. Anybody outside, even over the next mountain was just, hi, Al. Thank you, Sean. That was very sweet. I appreciate it. Hold on. Whoops. Here we go. Sean, thank you. I appreciate it. Done. Excellent. See how easy that was? Look at that, Sean. We're closer than we ever have been before. Isn't that nice? So, it used to be, you remember those days, John? You're that old? People used to have to mail a letter. They used to have to call somebody on a dial phone, and that person had to be home at the time. Show of hands in the chat room if you were alive before answering machines. Anybody who watches the show with any regularity knows what a big fan I am of the Rockford Files. Long before Bart was writing a new message on the chalkboard every week, there was the Rockford Files where he would get a new message on his machine at the beginning of every episode. It was a cool thing, and it was very different from other shows that had That Girl or Mary Tyler Moore. The theme and stuff was always the same. But there's this gag at the beginning where it would always go, this is Jim Rockford. At the tone, leave your name and message, and I'll get back to you. And somebody would leave a different joke message in the beginning every time. My favorite personal one was, Jim, this is Harry, your accountant. You were right. Your IRS refund check bounced. Just such a great gag. And then it goes, it would start the theme, right? Great thing. Well, why that was a big deal? You know why that gag was made, and why it became an important part of that show? Was because answering machines were a big fucking deal. It was a big deal that he had an answering machine. That was the huge part. Holy shit, this guy's got an answering machine. He doesn't have much else. It's almost like he lives in a trailer down on the beach because he had to pay for the answering machine. There used to be, there's a great moment in Alien Nation. There are many. Stangia Sorens. Never, I'm just saying, just say no to Jabroka. Anyways, in Alienation, if you recall, after his partner is killed, he comes home, James Caan, and he's drinking himself into a stupor, as you do in an 80s movie. And he sits down next to his answering machine and he hits the button on it. And his daughter leaves a message reminding him about the wedding that's coming up and to buy a tie, and mentions his partner, who is now dead. She doesn't know this because it's just on the message or whatever. And she goes, okay, I can't wait to see you. Love you. And she goes, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Now you're going to take this tape out and save it. Remember that? I don't know if you remember, but that was a crucial part. And he did. He absolutely did. It was a character thing. He took the tape out and he kept it because she said, I love you. He just kept the cassette. And he had this box of cassettes that was just messages his daughter had left, or whatever. And I know some of you, I have a couple of these folks in my life where I can't bring myself, they've passed away, but I can't bring myself to erase their contact. Anybody else? My buddy Robert Hall, I still have the last message he gave me. I've erased many messages between now, and when that happened, and it's still there. Still there. And if you recall, there was an actor named Michael Jeter who was it was terrific. Just an amazing actor. He died of AIDS, and I had been lucky enough I never worked with him, but I'd been lucky enough to meet him a few times and at charity events, AIDS walks and the like. And I managed, he was one of the first, kind of real celebrities where I got, their phone number and I talked to him. And when he passed away, I just couldn't do it. Couldn't erase it. Still in my phone. Crazy hair, mustache, super funny, wonderful in The Fisher King, just a terrific actor. And so, you guys know what kind of person I am. I'm nostalgic about things that haven't happened yet, and I'm very melancholy when it comes to those who we have lost and who have passed, and what those feelings now, thanks to you guys and thanks to regularly doing this show, do to me anyways, is remind me to count your blessings and contact people in the here and now. So that's my little note for today before we get started. Yeah? Yeah. So meanwhile, hi chat room. Yes, he was great in The Fisher King. It's a great movie overall, where Jeff Bridges plays basically Howard Stern, and the joke punchline in the movie that is used on the TV show is a mockery of Steve Martin's work. If that gives you any indication of how long that fucking script was bouncing around, they were spoofing "Well, Excuse Me," which was his kind of thing. Yes, Terry Gilliam is indeed awesome, and I do a pretty good Terry Gilliam face. I know where you can get it if you want it. Learn to do that early. Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid is an amazing film. We love Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid. Although Michael wasn't in that, but Steve was, and that's me. Hal, sorry, who are you talking about? I'm talking about, it's not who I'm talking about directly. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about people you have in your periphery that you haven't spoken to in a little while. Might want to just drop them a line. Let them know you're still there, and it's a great excuse you haven't talked in a while. Is this still your number? That one works very well. And then yeah. And you can just go, hey, just thinking about you. Much love. That's it. Yes, Baron Munchausen. Absolutely. Apparently there's sometimes when I had to let some of my streamers go today, getting way too rich for my blood. Well, I'm glad you're here. And if anybody ever has trouble like with memberships and super chats and all that kind of stuff, and you feel pressure to do it, please don't here. Just come here and relax and enjoy what I'm here to tell you and how I'm here to like inform your counter argument, which I think is probably besides the funniness, probably the best thing I hope I bring to this conversation is like, oh, all right, that's a piece of information I didn't know. How you seem to be having an emotional day. No, I'll tell you what, I wasn't having an emotional day. But my Georgina, hold on. Hold on. There you go. Georgina, however, when I talk about this stuff, I get emotional. That's it. It's not something I'm carrying around all the time. My goal in life is to never ruminate on bad things or allow my because I think worry is weaponized like imagination. Worry is weaponized imagination. Your imagination being turned against you. That's what it is. And so I value my imagination too much, and I don't want it to. I don't want that to happen. So that's why I just, if I have a genuine moment about this, I'll be genuine about it. But if I won't force it or create it or carry it around or dump it on people. As a matter of fact, it's very important to me that I don't bring stuff to the show in this particular instance, because that ain't what it's about. And the show, in the same way that it might help you enlighten your load, it lightens mine as well. So I owe you guys a debt of gratitude anyways. So there you go. I hope that makes sense. And there was along with the Sparksism that, worry is weaponized imagination, which, by the way, is Kip Winger's favorite quote of mine so far, is that I think grudges are weaponized loyalty. That the more likely you are, if you're a loyal person, you have a genuinely loyal streak, you probably are more likely to hold grudges as well, because that kind of ongoing relationship matters to you in that way. So you'll hang in there as long as you can. And if somebody betrays that trust, that loyalty, then you'll also create a grudge in that. Whether it's overt and you talk about it or you ruminate on it, I don't know. But it is there, right? Love Kip Winger. I love Kip too. He's a good guy. He's a lot of fun. He's super fucking talented. And thank you, Amy. Yeah. And enough said. And I'll take this fight to anybody. Winger is a progressive rock band disguised as hair metal. And they did a great job doing it. And if you don't believe me, check their time signatures and how many times they change in a song. Yeah. Right. Donald Trump launches his most deranged case. Yeah, judge. Oh yes, the fake case, Alyosher. Yeah, the fake account on X. Yeah. So, anyways, here we go. Let's jump in. I have okay. Now I don't have a video for this one per se, but I wanted to bring this up real quick as a point of comparison, and I'm sure we have some maggots in here somewhere. If we don't, please hit that like so the maggots know to storm in here and harumph about. Okay, in that there was a police officer who was killed, I believe, during a carjacking. And let's see, yeah, and the elements of the case aren't that important particularly. What is important is that Trump shows up and decides to use this guy's wake. He goes to this cop's wake and starts talking about migrant crime order. Okay, this police officer was murdered in the line of duty. His killers deserve what's coming to them because it's just awful. Yeah, Jonathan Diller, exactly. I feel for his family and his friends and his partner and everybody around him. It's just fucking horrifying, right? And again, indicative of what most cops are up against every single fucking day. And there's an important reason to bring this to your attention, if I may, because who thinks that there were, I don't know, no cops killed in the line of duty from 2016 to 2020? Does anyone believe that? Is any of them? Did Trump go to the wake of any of them? Right? I can't think of one. If anybody knows of one, I tried to look up some shit. I couldn't find one. He didn't go to a single one. Let me give you an example of some of the officers that died in the line of duty while Donald Trump was president. This is pre-COVID, too. I'm even going to give him a break for not going outside during COVID, even though he didn't give a fuck. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Sergeant Waitasha Lamar Carter. See this guy right here? Okay. Sergeant Waitasha Carter was shot and killed as he and another officer attempted to arrest two men who were breaking into vehicles at a bar in the 900 block of 5th Avenue North just before 2 a.m. This is in Alabama. They were in the area on a special detail as a result of a recent rash of vehicle break-ins. These were the guys they were looking for. A plainclothes officer spotted two subjects pulling on door handles of various cars and notified that Sergeant Carter, who was in uniform, responded into the parking lot. The officer and Sergeant Carter stopped the two subjects and began to pat them down for weapons. One of the men suddenly produced a handgun and shot at the officers, fatally wounding Sergeant Carter and critically wounding a second officer. During the pat-down, this guy just popped him, killed him. Okay? Like, shitty car burglary to murder in seconds. Okay, how about this? Here's another one. This is Detective William Lee Brewer. I just grabbed these at random. This is in Ohio. He was shot and killed after responding to a call from a suicidal man armed with a gun at an apartment complex. Shortly before 7, the Claremont County Sheriff's Office received a call from a man who initially stated that someone had broken into his home. The same man later told 911 dispatchers he was suicidal and armed with a gun. When officers arrived, they couldn't contact the man who had barricaded himself inside the apartment. Several minutes later, the man fired several shots, prompting officers from several agencies to respond and begin to negotiate with him. At 10:30, this went on for 3.5 hours. At 10:30 p.m., the man again opened fire from his apartment. The shots struck and killed Detective Brewer and wounded a second deputy. 3.5 hour standoff. This guy's they're just watching the place, trying to talk this dude out, and he just rando fucking shoots this guy dead. Did Trump go to this guy's? Of course not. How about this? How about Sergeant Stephen Gaspare Greco? He was killed when his vehicle was struck head-on by a drunk driver traveling the wrong way on mile marker 23. He was just killed by a drunk driver. The oncoming vehicle was traveling in excess of 100 miles an hour when it struck his vehicle head-on. He and the drunk driver were both killed in the crash, just driving down the street. And more than likely, the dude was looking to do himself in, drunk, and drove straight into the cop. Yeah. How about this? Sergeant Kevin Bernard Ansari. Kevin, I think, has 4 kids. He had 4 kids. 4 children. Sergeant Kelvin Ansari, Kelvin, not Kevin, beg your pardon, was shot and killed as he attempted to apprehend a robbery suspect. He and other officers had responded to a robbery that occurred at a barber shop in the 2300 block of Bull Street. The suspect was believed to have left the area, but was inside a nearby vehicle. As Ansari checked the area, the man exited and opened fire on him and another officer, striking them both. They weren't drawn down on him. They were just walking around. People were saying he's in the area, or he left and he went that way. They're just walking down the street, looking around for this guy. He was hiding in a car. As they walked up, he jumped out and murdered them. Subject fled into a nearby residential area where he was found a short time later hiding in a shed. As responding officers ordered him to surrender, he exited the shed and opened fire again. He was fatally wounded by return gunfire. Even after he killed 2 cops at point-blank range, he was hiding in a shed and they were trying to talk him out of it. And instead of dropping the gun and coming out, he just stormed out and shot them all. Did Donald Trump go to Sergeant Ansari's wake? How about this one? This will be my last one. This is Tara Christina O'Sullivan. Officer Tara O'Sullivan was shot and killed at the scene of a domestic disturbance in the 200 block of Redwood Avenue at 6:10 p.m. She was standing in the yard while assisting a woman to retrieve belongings from a home when a male subject inside opened fire with a rifle. Striking Officer O'Sullivan, the subject continued to fire at other officers, preventing them from reaching Officer O'Sullivan or rendering aid to her. Approximately 30 minutes later, an armored vehicle arrived and they were able to rescue her from the yard. She was transported to a local hospital where she succumbed to her wounds. She was just helping a lady pick up her shit in the yard at a domestic violence call. She wasn't drawn down on the suspect. She wasn't doing any of this. She was just there to help. And this fucker walked out. And I know I could find more examples. I just grabbed a few because we'd be here all night. It's all of these are terrible. All of these are tragedies. None of these officers did anything even remotely close to deserving this. They died, this woman was there to help this woman in an awful situation, and she was just blown away in the fucking yard. Did Donald Trump show up at any of these? No. No, he did not. Now, I know we'll have at least 3 folks in here on occasion that will tell us that this lady right here and the black officer I just showed you and the other officers, that they, just because they're police, they had it coming. And those people can go fuck themselves. And you're like the people that wail about propaganda and blah, 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 in my chat room, there's plenty of other places where you can go and dipshits will listen to you about it. But unless you want to sit down across from me at a table and explain to me why this woman deserved to die, shut the fuck up. And if you're Donald Trump and you're going to show up and fucking act like you give a shit about a cop that was killed in the line of duty, where the fuck were you when they were dying while you were president? Not a fucking one. This asshole even stopped going to the dignified transfers. When our soldiers came back dead from combat or accidents or any other point, there were 96 dignified transfers during the Trump administration. He went to 4 of them. Fucking 4. First 3, I guess, went off without a hitch. But the 4th one of the parents got mad at him, blamed him for it happening. Now, I got news for you. No matter who you are, if you're the president, you're going to be in a situation where it's on you. Whether it's true or not, whether you've made a bad call or whether the call had already been made and it's your responsibility because you're the fucking president, somebody somewhere is going to blame you for what happened. And sorry, that goes with the fucking job. That's the part you don't get to dodge. But it was too much for him. And so Pence went from that point on. Robert saying, Hal, where do I get my Trump Bible? I am currently using the free ones I got by accident to keep my tables from wobbling. Now I had to saw off parts of the leg to make it, make them wobble more so it fit. But I'll get back to you later. Yeah, this is just gross. This is just opportunist. The man is syphilis. He's an opportunistic infection. Showing up now at these things never came to any of these others. So just to clear that with the fucking Greg Kelly crowd and the Glenn Beck crowd and the fucking all the ones who still think he backs the blue after he sent his supporters to beat the fuck out of them at the Capitol. I couldn't find a single, and if there's one, please let me know. I couldn't find a single fucking police funeral he went to during his time in office. Even to sell a harsher fucking policy, right? Who's in the striped suit? I don't know. I don't know. The person holding his fucking umbrella, because if you hand it to him, he'll drop it. That said, that's me riled up for the night. I promise. The rest of the night will be relatively silly. I promise. So, love you guys, by the way. Yeah. Who wanted him? He's just showing up at deaths now. That's part of it, too. He's just like, Lake and Riley and stuff, he's just basically on a morbid, like death grift tour. Yeah. Yeah, domestics are dangerous, Handy Girl. They are the worst. Thanks, Gary. Not Siri. Stop listening.
Do you want me to stop listening for my name?
For now.
Sorry, I can't do that.
I should have figured. All right. Yeah. So this, when it's Trump's turn, I have no one shows up. Yeah, well, that'll be the thin part. So real quick, I'm gonna see if I can hold on. I need to find something before I show you something because this is so fucked up. Hold on. There's a super weird. Well, I took pictures of it. Shit. I was trying to. Where are these things? Yeah. So in these, let's see, where can I show? Okay. So I don't even know if I can show you this on the phone. So, this is on my phone. So beg your pardon about the quality of this because I didn't want to send it. There's an account that alleges to be a Chinese lady on X/Molly/ketamine.com or whatever the fuck it is. Whatever drug Elon Musk is naming it after this week. And this is the site. Hold on 1 second. See, it's a little, yeah, right there. Anyways, it says Weiwu. Okay, Weiwu. And the English on it is really bad. And apparently people like Dinesh D'Souza happen to think it's real. Now, I personally think it's a troll. I think the Weiwu account is somebody messing with people. Kind of, it's like what I would call a draw out account. If you don't know what a draw out account is, or if there's you know it by another name, what it is set up a right wing or left wing account that seems at the edge of the forgivable and normal, right? Just right at that edge, almost saying shit that's too far, but not quite. And then it goes just past it, right? It like on regular, on the regular, it prints up shit that, or post shit that is like over the line. And so the idea is that if they get you to like it on the regular basis and then the over the line thing happens, you're like familiar with this person. So you give them a little bit of like cred to allow them to go over that line and you're okay with it. And then they bait you even further down that line. So it's really, Nunez Cow is meant to be an open troll. This is a pretend person. And the idea is that this account is just there to make you look like an asshole if you like it or you support it. And this dipshit right here, apparently read one of Weiwu's tweets and thought it was real or thought it, whatever. And, thought it was real and supported it, even though it is obviously some intentionally a fuck around account. Now, the other thing you might not know about this, and this is, I'm not going to hold this up, but this is a post this person did and added Meek Mill, who's one of the people who's named in the kind of Diddy stuff right now. And the Weiwu account calls people, even though it's supposedly an Asian lady, my N-word on the regular with a soft A, I guess, on the end. And so they talk like this all the time. Is anyone getting Facebook requests from Mahal McGee? That's fake. The page you're on is the only page. If I don't stream to it, it's not my real page. Yeah. So what I'm trying to tell you is that the person we are dealing with right here, thinks this awful account, which is racist, sexist, gross overall, is okay by him. And so much so that he read, I guess, one of the tweets on the show, and that's their pinned tweet. No, Wes, not the we. It would start with an N. That would, yeah. So, yeah. So let's, anyways, now I'm curious where the reason we have the mess on today is because this is a blissfully short clip, and anytime we can deal with Dinesh's bullshit in as truncated a space as possible, I'm for it. And I don't know why he has that look on his face, but this is his opening frame. By the way, I did not freeze frame this. Okay, Dinesh's editor decided this is the first frame of this video, and they were just going to leave it. Just so you know, this is not me dicking around with this dum-dum. Obviously, his editor or whoever works at Rumble or where the shit he lays this out hates his fucking guts. So, this is apparently. You remember how somebody was saying that, like, Democrats, I think it was Greg Kelly was saying Democrats are running Republicans out of the House, that we're it's our active measure trying to get rid of Republicans, that shit. Okay. Apparently, I guess either Dinesh agrees with it or he has an alternate theory. Hal reads all of our comments. I do not read all of them. That would be impossible, but I do my best. I absorb them. That's for fuck's sake. For sure. For fuck's sake. All right. So this is it. Yeah, his editor hates him too, but I just feel like. Oh, Debbie. Okay, here we go.
I am very alarmed at this pattern of Republicans in the House.
Is it a pattern? He's already put it together, folks. It's a pattern. It's not just people leaving for myriad reasons. No, it's a pattern. Can't you see it? You got to get the 30,000 feet view that the mess has from, I guess, his office at WeWork, because Debbie was complaining about the smell again.
Not only making decisions about retiring and not running, but in some...
Which I think are the same things in some ways. I don't know how you can do one without the other. Just kind of, right?
Some cases quitting...
Yeah, that's another word for it, sure.
Now, or quitting imminently in a short time, in a few days.
Yes, that's what usually now means. Is a generalized now. There's a direct now, which means now, and then there's now with his, the sort of reachable frame.
And putting the GOP...
What about pudding? Excuse me, you lost me at pudding.
House majority into question. Now, this can be interpreted in one of two ways.
Just one of two ways. We have two options, and both of them, they're going to both seem appealing, folks. Some of you are going to jump right for the second one. No. It can only be perceived in one of two ways. It's an either or. A flip of the coin.
It can be interpreted as something that is unfortunate, but accidental.
Yes, it could be unfortunate and accidental. I mean, they're leaving on purpose. So unfortunate for the Republicans. Nobody quits on accident, I think. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. You were being stupid.
In other words, you've got...
In other words, besides an accident. Yes, they retired by accident. They tripped and went across a piece of paper that's the retirement. What? Who left that there?
200 plus Republicans. They all have their own family issues to deal with.
Boy, do they. Some of them especially, you know. Don't get me started on Boebert's family issues. Honk, honk. All right.
They also have ideological
That was me imitating her, not me groping her, just for the record, because she was doing the boink, la la la, smack.
issues, including maybe disagreements with the leadership, anxiety maybe about Trump as the nominee.